Sometime around 2004, 2005, I was asked to teach Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Blanchett for the movie The Aviator. And I had taught many celebrities because of being a pro in Los Angeles. It's inevitable. You play with a lot of celebrities, you teach a lot of celebrities. But I had never taught any that weren't interested in playing golf. They just needed to learn the skills of golf to look like a golfer in order to portray the role of Howard Hughes and Katharine Hepburn. And so the other thing was that not only did they not want to be golfers, but there wasn't much time to be able to learn how to be a golfer. And so with Leo, I only had 3 separate sessions with him of 15 minutes each. The first one, he invites me up to his house in the Hollywood Hills, makes me breakfast, very nice man. And we go into his backyard, I bring him a 9-iron, and I say to him, we don't have the time for me to download to you all the information of what it is to be a golfer, but I can make you look like a golfer immediately. And I said, it's as simple as this. The golf swing simply requires that you have a majority of your weight on your lead foot and your body is closed. So all you have to do is pivot onto your lead foot and close your body down at a 45-degree angle, then grip the club, then just swing the club while you keep your weight planted on your left foot. And if you do so, the club is going to go to all the correct places. And he says, that's it? I was like, that's it. And so he says, we're in his backyard, and he says, well, can I hit one? And he had a pretty big backyard, but if he hit 9-iron well, he definitely hit it out of his backyard. And I said, well, you're probably going to hit your neighbor's house. And he said, it's okay, I own the next 2 houses. So I said, sure, go ahead and hit one. So he takes one attempt at it, he pivots into his forward side, he grips the club, and I just tell him, now from there, just make sure you keep your weight firmly planted under your left foot and let your arms do whatever they're going to do. Just swing them. And so he does that, and he smokes right out of his backyard, probably hit a 145-yard 9-iron, and with a little tight draw too, right? And he loved it. He was super jazzed about it. And he says, oh, can I hit another one? Sure. So he goes to hit another one, and he immediately applied what it felt like to hit the first one, this feeling of power. And he then misinterpreted the swing. So the first one he hits great. The second one, he tries to hit as hard as the first one was struck, and he falls back, sticks the club in the ground 6 inches before the ball, and the club bounces up over the top of the ball and never makes contact. And I said, perfect. The first one is you doing what I ask of you. The second one was you interpreting what you felt during the first one. Now, the key is in understanding how do you get those experiences to occur. It's not by trying to make those feelings occur during the swing. Instead, you find the source for it. You find the catalyst for it, which is simply if you have your weight on your forward foot and your body is closed at a 45-degree angle and then you grip the club, what's going to happen is the club is going to move properly and allow you to hit a very powerful and consistent shot. And all you have to do to get that to occur is focus on keeping your weight still. It is a skill to focus on keeping your weight still. I always say staying still is the skill. Well, that is something that you can develop right now indoors. The ability to just simply focus on nothing else but the position of your weight. And during the swing that I make, I have a million sensations that I could tap into, but none of them mean anything if they don't allow me to reproduce the experience. It's like the ball rolling down the hill. The ball that's rolling down the hill has got all kinds of moments of experience, but the only thing that matters is where the ball started at the top of the hill. Where the setup is and where the ball was released determines everything that's going to happen from that point down. So the same is true here. Don't focus on what's happening during the swing with your hands and arms. Instead, find the source. The source is simply that you keep your weight still and you disregard the movements of your hands and arms. The only reason why you focus on your hands and arms is because traditional golf instruction has told you to do that. Now, if that worked, wouldn't you be a better player? Wouldn't you be more consistent? You're probably pretty good at a lot of things in life, but in golf you might struggle or you don't live up to your expectations. Well, a lot of that has to do with the fact that you get pre-trained to talk to these. Don't talk to these. There's no reason to talk to these. So while you're indoors, the ability to focus on stillness is really important. So yesterday I asked of you, or in the last video I asked of you to pivot and just consume the setup position. Feel nothing about the movement of your hands and arms and just become aware of the setup position. Now what I want you to do is start to tie that into the position of your weight. Once again, disregarding your hands and arms. Your hands and arms are going to move along the line of your setup position. That's just what they want to do unless you override it, unless you interfere. Let's see what happens when you don't interfere, when you don't override it or participate in the movements of the swing. You know, your setup position is where you've already taken care of the movements of the swing. That's where you get to participate in it. And then once the swing starts going, you have to just let them flow while you focus on keeping your weight still. So this ability to focus on keeping your weight still is truly a skill. And you want to start to do this. And since we're all on lockdown, one thing that you could do to improve your ability to stay still is improve your ability to focus on staying still. Now, one thing you could do is this. I teach a drill where I ask my students to play a round of golf perfectly in their minds the night before they're going to play a golf course. So if I know tomorrow I'm going to play Pebble Beach and I'm playing it in a tournament, let's say, I'm going to recreate the scenario that I can anticipate. If I know it's going to be wet weather or kind of that foggy Northern California experience, then I'm going to anticipate that. I'm going to be wearing a windbreaker or sweater or whatever it is that I know I'm going to need to wear so that I'm prepared. I'm not thinking about playing in shorts and a t-shirt. I'm thinking about playing in warm weather clothes. You try and recreate the scenario as much as possible. If you know who you're playing with, put them in the group with you. If you know that there's going to be a gallery, put the gallery there. This is a way I would prepare for competitive events. And so what you're doing at that point is you're rehearsing what you're about to go out and do, but you're also improving your ability to focus, and you're going to learn right now that you can improve your ability to focus on stillness. So when I play a round of golf perfectly in my mind, this is how it looks in my mind. I assess the hole first and I determine where I want to hit the shot. And I'm always playing the ideal shot. I'm never taking any chances. I'm just hitting the shots that the course designer is asking of me relative to my skill level. And because I have a high skill level, I can reach all the par fives and two. And I'm going to play the course very aggressively because that's how I like to play the game. And so I end up shooting scores anywhere from 54 to 50. And that's because I'm birdieing every hole and I'm eagling the par fives that I could reach. And sometimes I hole out on par fours, but I try not to. Sometimes your mind will get so focused that it can't miss. But what I try and do is I always try and put the ball in the perfect spot throughout the course. So on the tee shot, let's say if we are talking about Pebble Beach, the first hole is a little dogleg right par four. Well, I hit one iron off the tee and there's a very specific target on the corner of the forest there that you're aiming for. And so if you could leave yourself there, you have the best angle in at the green. And so when I hit the shot, I do this. I set up into my lead side, I anchor my weight, I make sure my body's closed, I grip the club, but then the club never moves and the ball jumps off the face and goes where it needs to go. And I make sure that the entire time I'm just focused on keeping my weight still. And what starts to happen is your arms start to disappear because really your arms are non-consequential. They're just relaying the information from your setup position to the ball. So whether or not they move in your mind is really not important. And especially since we're trying to get better at focusing on stillness, how about we just go ahead and dissolve these out of your experience and you just start hitting shots where you load up on your front side and the ball jumps off the face and goes where you're trying to go. What you're going to find is you're going to start to attach consciously and subconsciously. You're going to start to attach to being able to focus on just keeping your weight still. You're also going to start to trust that what your hands and arms do doesn't matter. Because I can tell you this, when you're making a swing in your mind, if you're trying to maneuver your hands and arms or you see your hands and arms moving in the swing, you're probably going to see it wrong. So why bother? Why even put that into your reality when you can just stay still and trust that you don't need to even be aware of what these things are doing because you already preset them in the setup position. So, like that story about Leo, where for one swing he focused on staying still and he hit this beautiful shot. And then after that, actually, I was there for the entire filming, the day of filming on the course. And he put on a clinic for the crew at one point where he hit about 155 yard 7-irons with a tight little draw. And he knew how to do it. And he like smiled at me because he was like, this is easy. And it was like, yeah, you got it. You're hooked into it. And it's because he realized that that was the key to producing that shot. It was also a gift for him to not be a golfer so that he didn't have any of these preconceptions about trying to control the hands and arms. So if you could try and learn from that and start to absorb, while we're all on lockdown here, start to absorb the idea that all you need to do is focus on keeping your weight still, and not for some Zen reason, but because you've already preset the movements for the swing in the setup. It's all logical. And then during the swing, you just need to focus on keeping your weight still. And I can promise you, it's very easy during the golf swing to get distracted by the movements of the swing. You feel something, you hear something, a bug flies over your ball. There's so many distractions when it comes down to it in golf. But when you can get immersed in the position of your weight, all those distractions start to go away. They don't matter because this is so key and so important to you. So, for example, like when I would play competitively, I didn't mind if somebody made noise when I was hitting a shot because I didn't hear it. I was too obsessed with this and the shot that I needed to hit. So see if you can't start to improve your ability to stay still by improving your ability to focus on stillness. And try and play a round of golf, a perfect round of golf, relative to your skill set. If you can reach the par fours, you reach them. You hit them 5 feet under the hole, and you leave yourself a little right to left putt if you're a right-handed putter. You leave yourself an inside right edge putt. You leave yourself the easiest putt on the course. Always an uphill putt. You always hit the ball below the hole. You're always hitting the fat part of the green. You're never going for tucked pins. You're hitting the fat part of the fairway. But you're hitting every shot perfectly. And consequently, you should, if you can reach every hole in regulation, you should shoot 18 under par. And it's a bit of a skill to get yourself to believe in it and to be able to do it. But if you can, you're going to find that your focus improves. You're going to find that your ability to focus on stillness improves. And you're also going to find that you're going to be comfortable when you're having your career round. Like, I'm very comfortable being deep under par because every time I play a round of golf in my head, I'm 18 to 22 under par by the end of the round. So it's nothing foreign to me to all of a sudden be 7 under par through 7 holes on the course. So you will start to experience the same thing where you're going to start to feel more comfort. And when you're about to shoot your career round, it won't be that unfamiliar. And you'll probably say, man, I could have saved a few more shots there because I hit that shot even better in my head last night. So take the opportunity while on lockdown to improve your ability to focus on stillness by playing a perfect round of golf in your head, and try to trust the idea that you can trust in the setup position and disregard the movements for your hands and arms because they've already been taken care of by the setup position. So all you have to do is get real good at focusing on and keeping your weight still.